I think I said something like this earlier. You should earn the right to worry about fatigue. So people like Nick Walker, people like John Jewett, the guys that are huge, they're the ones that need to worry about that because they have all this like accumulated, like they're able to target muscle correctly. They're able to take it there. Like the guys that are young and natural are probably me too. It's like miles away from accumulating and getting to that point of fatigue. Like obviously there's a point where you don't need to go in and deadlift every single day, kill yourself. Like you have to not be an idiot and use some common sense, obviously, but you also don't want to be like, I'm only going to do 4 sets per week because I may get too much fatigue. And it's like, maybe a little bit of fatigue is good. Like maybe that's just a sign that you're working your ass off. You know what I mean? Like,
welcome back, guys, to the Fireside Physique Podcast. I'm your host, Talon Westervelt, and today I got the honor of talking to Maddox Medlin about all things beginner sides of fitness and even some stuff that can apply to the intermediates as well. Going into the new year, I know there's going to be a lot of people along the spectrum of being skinny fat currently, or if you're fat and want to lose a little bit of weight, or you're skinny and want to put on some size and finally fill the sleeves. We tried to cast a very wide net and give advice in as many realms as possible to help you guys out. We talked all things psychology of how to build habits and make this a momentum thing so you do not fizzle out on day 15. We talked all nutrition habits, whether it be cutting, maintenance, surplus, training, intensity, frequency, volume. Like I said, we tried to cover and bring you guys as much value as we possibly could, and it took us a little over an hour to fit it all in. So somewhere along the lines, I have some value for you guys. If you go through this entire video and you're like, hey, this sounds like me, I like what we're talking about, I want to get my foot in the door, that's exactly what I do. I fix foundations, and I build a sustainable system for you specifically. If you have any questions about anything at all the contact information is going to be down in the bio, and I'd love to talk to you about where you're at currently, if my coaching style fits for you, and how I can help. Without further ado, let's hop into it. I watched your YouTube video over this whenever you spoke about this, about how you came to it, and I thought it was awesome because it is exactly how I came to enjoy the weight room. Is I played baseball, but I sucked, and I was pretty much on like the back end of it. Like I was just a bench warmer at best. But through this process, I got to take the weightlifting classes in high school, and during the weightlifting classes for the 4 years, I came to realize I like this way more than baseball, and it felt like something I was good at as well. Like it felt almost natural in a sense to want to be there. We had free Fridays where everybody could go do whatever they want to, just play basketball, and I was the only kid in there who'd be in the gym on Friday just trying to figure out new methods, like pulling stuff from OG Gymshark workouts. I don't know, whatever it was, but I really resonated with that point.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's how it was for me too. It's like that's kind of what got me into like the social media side of it, was like the Ziz and like Gymshark and all that. Like it's kind of funny looking back on all that. That's kind of what started. That was like my first inspiration or whatever.
It's crazy how much it's changed from where social media and fitness met. Like how it started was Ziz and all this kind of like young LA in a sense, but more like retro. Now, or at least from the side, I think that we are most around is it's education based. Like it's not just there is a side to it that's all have fun and whatnot, but there's a huge space for how advanced it's gotten. Like it's not just eat your protein, pro lift, which it works in a sense.
Before it was like I just want to look sick, I just want to look this, and now it's like I got to get super analytical with this, and this, and it's like it's crazy how much it's changed in just like what, like 3 or 4 years or whatever.
Which is why I said you're a phenom, because you come to want to understand this stuff, and you do. How old are you? Are you 20? Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy how far like pre in the timeline you are, and to be on this side of it. Do you find that you're kind of a rarity? Do you versus kids in comparison to your age group? Like this, how knowledgeable and obsessed you are with it?
Like maybe like where I live, but like it's kind of funny because like whenever you surround yourself with like people that are way smarter than you, you kind of just feel always like a dummy. Like for example, you know Seth, right? Or Maheen or whatever his name is. He's like 20. He's a genius. So like whenever you surround yourself with people like that, it's like, no, I don't really see myself as a phenom. I just kind of see myself as some kid that's like obsessed with bodybuilding. But as for my age, I mean, for people around where I live, definitely, because everywhere around here just like drinks and parties and hunts. So it's like, yeah, kind of. But besides that, I mean, not really. I guess whenever it's like all you consume, it's just kind of what you look as like your norm. and then you kind of just base it off of that.
I wouldn't say that's just where you live. I don't know where you live specifically, but I'm saying people your
Mhm.
age group. Like I said, you're the one
Yeah,
percentile. Like 99% of people are doing normal 20-year-old things, which is partying, drinking, going out. So
right.
it's very refreshing. It's really cool to see from my outside. Keep doing what you're doing, in a
Thank you. I
sense.
appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
of course, of course, of course. So when I sent you all the questions about how exactly you would solve it, I went in and I answered it all myself before looking at your answers, so I didn't like blend them at all, and I wanted to compare
Hmm.
afterwards. So
Hmm.
let's start with the skinny fat group because I feel as if that's the people you run into most often, especially when it comes to that beginner side. So, what is your definition of skinny fat?
My definition of skinny fat is like someone that will I guess I'll put in like a funny context. Will like they'll wear a cutoff, but like they're not damn close to ever taking their shirt off in the gym. Like they're just like still kind of they're okay with how they look, but it's like they could always there's always that little bit they want to keep losing, and it's like I guess that would be my definition of like skinny fat. It's like you're right there. You look all right, but it's like you always know there's a little bit of like pudge there, and it's like you kind of want to like push to that next level where there's not a lot of people take it to that next like getting shredded level or whatever.
I went straight to the analytical side of it. I like your answer, I think, more than I like mine because I went more textbook side of it. But I was saying how
Yeah.
it's usually assigned with beginners and sometimes even intermediates, like closer to
Mhm.
even like the 5 year mark, that are just not quite skinny, but they're not quite obese. They're just frustratingly
Mhm.
somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And people, they take that softer look and then they have a really
Mhm.
hard time getting off specifically that lower stomach and that lower back fat.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
even after they diet, even after they take that super common advice of all you need to do is eat in a calorie deficit, they shred down and they look nothing like the people that they're looking up to
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
That's
So,
that is usually how it goes.
what do you think the biggest mistake for skinny fat clients is, especially in the first 8 weeks, and also just the biggest timeline?
So with skinny fat people, it's always like their biggest thing is wanting to lose weight. So they're kind of in the camp of like lose weight at all costs. And so they'll just cut ungodly amounts of food out of their plan and they won't focus on like prioritizing muscle. And that's what always happens with guys is like they will deflate and then all they become is like if they were fat, they'll just become a skinny version of that fat person. Like you're just a deflated version of that self. So you'll end up losing muscle and they don't I think another point I can make with that is like they don't like have metrics to track. So like they'll just their numbers in the gym will plummet, their performance in the gym will plummet, and then like, well, I'm losing weight, so that's kind of my goal, right? I'm losing fat, right? And then they come to realize at the end of it, it's like they're just a smaller version, but still fat. It's like, and then that's where they get skinny fat. It's like because you may have lost scale weight, which is cool, but you also lost muscle, which is not cool. So then you kind of have to have a good balance of the two.
Were you ever in that position yourself at some point?
Yeah. Whenever I first lost weight, like I wasn't skinny by any means, but I also wasn't like fat anymore. But I was like I had like no really muscle, but I was pretty skinny fat. I'm like 6 foot. I was like 6 foot like 175, but I had like no muscle, but I also didn't have like the stomach anymore. So I was just like right in the middle.
Think that I thought I was skinny fat for years and years and years,
Hmm.
but anytime I got just a little bit, I would go into like a bulk, or it wasn't really a bulk. It
Hmm.
was more so just I would stop tracking and have more freedom, and then I
Hmm.
got fat in consequence. And then as soon as I got that
Right.
little bit of fat, it would trigger that cycle of I need to do a cut right now. So I just
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
I don't know, like a 6 year cut, essentially straight in a
Hmm.
row, and never gave my body the needed nutrients or supplies that it needed. I actually put on muscle and actually put on muscle shape more specifically.
Right.
But in fixing these people of the skinny fat group, training priority, volume,
Hmm.
intensity, frequency, and why.
For I think for the beginner, especially, like I'm sure you've heard this a million times over, is that I think the biggest priority needs to be intensity at the beginning. And I think once you can nail your intensity, like, I mean, I'm still in this phase as well of like nailing my intensity. And then I think you can base your volume and all that kind of stuff based off of that intensity. Because if you never are able to like, I guess I kind of have like an old school mentality and thinking about this because that's kind of how my coach is. And that's just kind of like what I follow. It's like if you can't nail the intensity part of it first, it's like how are you accurately able to gauge your volume if you've never been able to like quote unquote take it there or like whatever? Because it's like you can have all the cool volume tracking, RPE, RIR techniques, but it's like how do you actually know that you are 1 or 2 RIR if you never have like buried yourself in a squat? And it's like I think that that needs to be like the base. I mean, I think that needs to be the base of any beginner's training is like nail the intensity part of it first. And then once you've built or like earned I guess kind of earned it to focus on like RIR, RPE, all that kind of thing. Volume wise, I hate these kind of questions are like hard because like it's so individualized. It's so like it depends. It's like you get any kind of like fitness advice, you could literally just end it with it kind of depends. It's like you, for example, could do like 30 sets of legs and maybe never get sore. And I do like 8 sets and I'm like screwed. So it's so person dependent. I know like one volume like thing that I live by is like I'm super big on high volume for like smaller muscle groups. That's the only like hard and fast rule that I have. Like personally, like arms, delts, calves, all that kind of thing. I'm always a high volume person in that aspect. Other things I'm still kind of learning. Like I'm still a noob in the gym in my opinion. So I'm still learning like how much volume for legs I need to do, how much volume for back and chest. And that's one of the main reasons like having a coach is good is he can kind of guide that and that kind of thing. But I guess the one hard and fast rule is high volume for small muscle groups always, and everything else is kind of just person dependent at that point.
Yeah. Though having a coach thing about volume was huge, especially for me. All my training and the way I thought about stuff got completely overhauled because I was very much so, especially after a certain revolution of social media cycles, very much so on the low volume side of stuff. Like I was
Yeah.
all in on that stuff because I once
Right.
you
Yeah.
got to know the science behind all of it, it made sense to me. I was like, yeah, like
Hmm.
that makes sense. But then whenever I got my coach, a lot of it was very high volume stuff. Or it was
Hmm.
high volume through high frequency. Like it would be relatively high volume, and then I would also hit that muscle group 2 to 3 times a week. And at first,
Hmm.
I was bitching, of course, not to him directly, but I was complaining internally. I'm like, this is high volume and this is stupid. And I think the low volume side of things. And then I saw growth that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So immediately, of course, I was
Yeah.
disproven in my own methods.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of like I think I've heard who was it? I can't remember. Maybe it was like Dusty Hanshaw or something like that. Was like whenever you're a beginner, it's like the more volume, it's like you're shooting like a shotgun versus a sniper. It's like you have a lot more like volume toward that muscle, so you're going to be able to start firing it better. You're going to be able to start cueing it better or whatever. The more that you do it, and if you're only allowing yourself like this little amount of volume and this little amount of stimulus, so you don't accumulate too much fatigue or whatever, you're never going to be able to like fire that muscle because you're working it so little. And it's like you have to build up, like it's like dribbling a basketball or shooting free throws. It's like you have to do it over and a lot when you first start to get good at it and build like a foundation or whatever.
Yeah, I love that volume analogy in the sense of skill as well, like
Exactly. It
proficiency
is
in
a
a
skill.
movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you could do a hack squats one set a week, bi-weekly or whatever, but if you're hit 3 sets or variations of that twice a week, every single week, you're going to get good at the
Hmm.
hack squat. You're going to
Yeah, you're gonna
get good at
learn.
squatting at one point or another.
Yeah, yeah,
When you
exactly.
when you spoke about the IRR, RPE and all that stuff, specifically for people who are earlier in their training career, do you think using it, I don't want to say is useless, but it's more like horse before the carriage?
Yeah, I do. I think because, like I said, it's like if you don't take it there, if you don't take it to that failure point, you never really know where that truly is. Like for me, like with my coach, I don't think I can ever like make my coach happy with my. He's always like, "There's a rep there. There's 2 reps there." I'm like, in the set, it's like I literally physically am like dying, but it's like you always have like even the guys that train hard. Like I was listening to a podcast this morning with it was a Skip Hill or whatever. He was like, even sometimes now he's been training like in 20, 30 years. He looks back on his training and he's like, oh, I had a rep or two there. And it's like the guy that's just starting out, it's like you probably have, if you had like some of the guys that work out at like Destination Dallas or one of like the hardcore gyms, they're yelling at you. You probably have like 5 more reps. And like every beginner, it's just kind of like you said, it's a skill. Like I think having that intensity level and being able to take it there, that's also a skill. Like being able to like break that what's the word? This like that mental barrier is like you have to like practice that. Like I don't know how to explain it, but you have to like acquire that mentality.
Yeah, I look back on my own training years ago, have using RIR systems, trying to keep reps in reserve, but I'm squatting 2 plates. It's like, don't
Right.
like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? Like there's no, just push it. Just
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
circles
I
back to,
agree.
that old school style where like just go
Mhm.
in there, do it as hard as you possibly fucking can, and do it often, and
Yeah.
you will get results. Like you don't have to bring in all the
Yeah.
fancy
Yeah.
stuff as
Yeah.
well.
I even think like the taking it there thing, like I'm big on I'm big on mental health. Like I'm huge on mental health and stuff like that. And I think that having I call them mental health sets. Like my top sets are like my mental health sets. Like I think that you need to take it to a point, not even to learn and have your body adapt in that form, but just to build that mental like fortitude. And like there's no better feeling than like going into a hard set of anything and then walking out the other side having progressed that in some way from the last week, whether it be reps, weight, tempo, or whatever, and then being like, shit, I did that. That like builds like little wins for you. And that's like a whole mental health like spiel I could get on, is like this being able to take it there will help you mentally. Like if you get nothing from it physically and you completely gas yourself, that's fine. But like you'll build this mental fortitude that I think is even more valuable for other avenues of your life than just building big legs from a good set of hack squat. You're going to build this mental fortitude that you can carry over into every other area of your life, in my opinion.
Yeah, that evidence, like proof, essentially put it in the bank
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like it almost like like washes you afterwards as well. Like you, even especially on the
Yeah.
days where you're like, oh god, really do not feel like doing this. I didn't sleep well last night.
Yeah.
I didn't get my meal in. It's cold
Mhm.
outside. I don't want to do this. And then you get through that set, and you also get somebody to get beside you, so you do take one of those berry sets where you get pushed to
Mhm.
your actual failure,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, I didn't die. What do you know? Who
Yeah,
would have thought?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Who would have thought?
But back to fixing the skinny fat crisis as far as nutrition goes.
Mhm.
At first, I know this, again, I know you said everything needs context. You could follow it up with the whatever, but nutrition
Mhm.
focus, deficit, maintenance, or surplus
For the
at
skinny
first.
fat guy, at first, I think it's always a good idea to focus on a deficit first and then get to like a good body fat standpoint, simply for like things like insulin resistance, making sure all those things are really good so you can go into a good growth phase. Because I think that's like that's how I do with like my clients, for example. Like if they come to me and they're the skinny fat guy, it's like there's not many guys that are in that skinny fat phase that think they don't think they couldn't lose a little bit more fat or be a little more in shape. So I always like starting a cut and then giving it some time and then going into a from there, depending like how fast they lose or whatever and how much like time frame we have to work with, go from there and then slowly start to ramp the calories back up to maintenance and then back up to bulk and then kind of based off like your goal or whatever. But I think always starting with a cut is probably the best idea.
I think I see it in two different avenues. I used to be
Mm-hmm.
more along the line of what you just said, instant cut, get
Mm-hmm.
them. But the way I see it now is it's really dependent on the client, because when it comes to someone like that, specifically more like on the newer side, I see it
Mm-hmm.
as, do they need instant buy-in? Like, do we need to make
Right.
them lose 5 pounds? Do we need to get them a little bit leaner? Do we need to get them instant wins right away for them to actually build belief? Or are they coming in with trust and belief from the get-go? And you don't have to necessarily take the deficit approach, because in my opinion, there's higher priorities that should be focused on. While a deficit's great, it can reveal really fast wins for them, but a lot of the times, a lot of their baseline stuff, or stuff that I would prioritize more, is not a priority to them. And that's
Mm-hmm.
stuff such as micronutrients is a huge one. Like a lot of skinny fat, they don't eat
Mm-hmm.
their vegetables or their fruits or what have you. Like they're just eating their macros.
Yeah.
They're in this endless cut cycle, or at least I was anyways. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
about taking that first period of time. And I would say this
Mm-hmm.
kind of leans closer if you're doing it through a nutrition focus of like maintenance in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not really maintenance calories for the sake of maintenance. It's more so meal regularity. Like how good is that food looking? Like
Yeah.
how consistent can you be? Can you erase
Mm-hmm.
that thought of any prior bias and history and what have you? And there's just so many more things that can elevate how responsive they're going to be. Like, I don't want to necessarily take them through a cut right away when their body already isn't in a super responsive state. So, like, raising whatever I have
That's a
to do
great point. Yeah.
to bring it up in a way. But like you said, it's different context for everybody. Some people, they do need that win right away. But I would say skinny fat people, they get solved a lot more like in the maintenance side of things. And I know some
Yeah.
people would disagree with that, but
Yeah. I think a lot of people too are like overeating or over and under eating how much they think they are. Then sometimes you put people on maintenance and they're like, "So a lot more than I expected." Like, whoa, like there's a couple clients I had like when I first started, like I put them on what their maintenance calories would be for their age, height, weight, whatever. And it's like this is more than I thought. And then like with that came improved training, with that came improved metabolism, and then they were eating more than they were and losing fat. And they're like, well, I don't understand, but it's like, well, whenever you're fueling your training correctly, you're fueling your body correctly, it's going to work better. You're going to lose weight faster. You're going to lose weight more efficiently. So it's like kind of like what you said, like being at that maintenance and kind of building like the foundation of like meal timing, meal like carbohydrate or macronutrient distribution, like focusing on micronutrients, focusing on appetite, focusing on like digestion, like building kind of like the foundation first off of that maintenance calories, and then like your body will start responding better, and then you could eat maybe and never even go into a deficit and still be losing weight just because your body is like a machine now instead of a slug.
that's what I see more often than not. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Or in the sense of, if I just got you on a more consistent plan, it doesn't really matter if it's like a particular calorie deficit or it's a little bit of a surplus. If I'm getting you to
Yeah,
eat regular basis, like I'm getting you regular meals, good sources, we're upticking that training intensity that we just talked about. Like, we're actually teaching you how to be at the gym consistently, and whenever you're at the gym, to train hard as fuck. As long as we're
yeah,
supplying you with the correct nutrients, more often than not, they're going to lose weight because
yeah,
their energy output's going up, even though they're eating at technically maintenance.
right,
And on top of that, they're going to be putting on that muscle that is really, in a sense, the lack of creating that skinny fat look. Like, that's why they're skinny
right,
fats, because they don't actually have muscle underneath that fat and they don't have any muscle shape to it. So I would
right,
argue, if you can convince them from the get-go that, hey, an 8-month maintenance period where we're just locked in is going to solve a lot of your problems than worrying about going through like a cut and then coming back up to a surplus and then like doing like a maintenance phase. It's like, no,
yeah,
let's just stay kind of somewhere in the middle. Let's hammer consistency really hard,
yeah,
which is something I doubt a lot of them have done prior to it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great point.
One habit that you'd enforce for 90 days, if you could.
One habit that I would enforce for 90 days. I think it doesn't have to be fasted cardio, like, you don't have to go find a treadmill or anything, but any kind of fasted movement and activity, I think, has done me so much good from a physical health standpoint. It, like, increases my appetite, and you could even add in things like, like L-carnitine fasted to help with things. You can add in things like yohimbine for like fat loss phase or whatever, but just some kind of fasted movement in the morning, whether it be 10-minute walk outside, 30 minutes. Like I do 30 minutes. I have an elliptical upstairs, so I do 30 minutes on the elliptical. But just something in the morning, I think helps in so many aspects. You can like clear your head, you can sets the tone for the day, and then you have if you're trying to get like an allocated amount of steps for the day, you can knock out like half of them an hour after you wake up, so you're not like walking randomly throughout the day or whatever. You can get so much done in that like hour after you get up. So like some kind of fasted movement, I think, is huge for a lot of things.
Well, so you're pro. I know there was a debate at one point in time whether fasted cardio was advantageous over just regular cardio. You're pro fasted cardio.
I do fasted cardio every day of the week just because like it helps me get my steps and it wakes me up, and then plus like I'll like be on my phone like getting my post ready for the day during my cardio, so that's kind of like my time to get social media things done. And then but yeah, I've never like taken a period where I've done only post workout cardio and then only fasted and then like compared the differences. But I do think that fasted cardio is a great thing. Plus, you could like I said, you could utilize certain supplements to help with that, like L-carnitine, yohimbine, any kind of like thermogenic fat burner or whatever you could like experiment with. Like I've used a couple in the past, so like I could tell like my heart rate's increased with those like with those supplements or whatever, I sweat a lot more. So it's like you can also utilize those things in a fasted state that you can't whenever you're fed. But I enjoy fasted cardio. I think it's just a good way to wake up for the day. And it's like, shit, I got my cardio done. I'm rolling. I'm going. But yeah, I like fasted cardio.
So it's kind of tied back to that mental health thing you were talking about a second ago. Yeah.
Exactly.
I live in an apartment. We don't have anywhere to, I have a little, like a stepping one, like a one, or like a one that I can insert next to my desk, but I don't have any big, huge treadmill situation. But I am really looking forward to the day that I do. I don't know when it's going to happen, but if I could, some days I don't have to work out, but I do have to do cardio, and I have to drive 15 minutes to go to the gym just to do cardio, and then I come back. It feels like such a waste of time.
Yeah, for real. That's how I was for a while. Yeah. That's
not a waste of time, but it would just be so nice if I could just go downstairs and knock it out super fast and then get on with my day instead of spending an hour. Yohimbine, you were talking about a second ago. That shit makes me anxious as all get out. God, I do not like Yohimbine.
I've seen different effects of it. Like when I first started using it, like it was like within one of the supplements, like the blends that I use or whatever. I could definitely tell like during the day I'd be a little more like a little bit more anxious. Like if it would be busy at work, I'd get a little more like on edge. But over time, it's like you kind of get like, it's kind of like caffeine, I guess. You kind of get more adapted to it. And I quit using that, and I can definitely tell that my overall anxiety has gone down quite a bit. Like in situations where I would get a little stressed before. It's like now it's kind of like that's whatever. But yeah, I definitely have seen effects of that, and then have heard of people having like adverse effects from Yohimbine. So it's not for everybody for sure.
Yeah, I don't think the trade-off is worth it for me. I know my heart rate goes up, my energy expenditure and consequences probably going to go up as well, but the little bit of calories extra that extra heart rate burns for the anxiety that it gives me does not feel worth it, because I'll take it and I'll have like my resting heart rate will be 100 for 2 hours straight after I take it. Especially like if I take it fasted cardio, I go in there and feel like I'm about to have a heart attack on the treadmill, like just walking at a slight incline.
Yeah, there are some days on the elliptical that I would take that stuff and my heart rate gets up there, but I've never seen my heart rate get like super high like post cardio. Like my heart rate, I actually had like earlier in the year during my prep, I had an issue, not an issue, but I have a Garmin that I like track my heart rate on, and I was sitting around like what's it called? Tachycardia? Is that the lower one? Like the lower heart rate?
Tachycardia is high.
Bradycardia. So I had a resting heart rate at one point of like,
whoa,
which is nuts. And like but I didn't have any like effects, or I didn't have any side effects. Like I went to the doctor. I actually went to the doctor for some like other complete reason, like different reason. And I was like, by the way, I have a question. And he was like, what? And I told him, and he was like, well, what are your like side effects? Like, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel fine. And like they put a chest strap on me for a week, and my heart rate got down to like 28 at one point, and like sat there. And I was like, how is that even possible? But like I never had any side effects. Like I don't know. And then like it's kind of like right now I think my resting heart rate is probably like a 40, like on average. Yeah,
that's probably from that daily cardio you do every day. If you're doing fasted cardio 7 days a week habitually for years, you're just your capacity, like how much blood you're putting out for beats per minute is just like getting better and better and better, which is a good thing. You probably be a really good diver. If you want to if you ever have like need a backup career in deep sea diving, you probably have one.
Smart. That's smart.
For the next group of guys, the people who are overly fat and want to get in shape, what determines whether fat loss actually sticks? You can break this down into one main thing, or if there's a multitude of things that need to be incorporated inside of it, whatever you feel is the biggest determining factor.
If it sticks or not, I think this is going to be kind of cliche and kind of nerdy of an answer, but it's like when you find the routine and the diet and the training that you can just execute on daily and enjoy, that's what will stick. Because if you implement a diet or a training program that you lose 50 pounds in whatever amount of time, and you lose the weight, but you don't like look forward to doing it, and you don't enjoy doing it, like you don't wake up, you don't go to the gym fired up, you look at your meals and you want to cry and this and this and that, and you never look forward to doing any of it, at some point you're going to fall off the wagon. I don't care how like disciplined or committed you are, or like how whatever, you're going to fall off the wagon at some point, and then this is going to lead to a cycle of maybe getting back to the weight that you were, and then you're going to do this thing where you die super hard again, and then it's just going to be this back and forth thing that I'm sure 99% of people have gone through at some point. Is like they get really gung ho on this one plan that's like super hard. They lose the weight, but it's like it doesn't stick because they can't stick to the plan. So it's like finding what you enjoy. Like that's what I tell all my clients. It's like I don't like this is not going to be some like chicken and rice and broccoli, and then you're going to be in the gym doing cardio 7 days a week. It's going to be what fits your schedule, what fits your lifestyle, what fits this and that, and then build off of that first instead of looking for like the most optimal whatever plan that's going to get you the best results. Like find what you can consistently do, because what you'll consistently do is what you'll make the most progress with. You make more progress, you stay more motivated, and it's just a loop.
Yeah. Mixing, I wish I would have learned it or put more emphasis on it earlier in my career, but not over optimizing, but really honing in on the client psychology side of
Yeah,
things. Like
that's huge.
realizing why people do what they do and then building the plan from that versus building the plan
Mhm.
and then just trying to correct it along the way, which often leads to frustration. On my side, I wrote down that what makes fat loss stick is digging into the why to your core, not saying, "Hey, why do you want to do this?" "Oh, my clothes don't fit very well. Like I don't really like what I see in the mirror." It's like, no, like what actually? Like let's peel back the layer a little bit. Let's go a little bit deeper. What are your
Yeah,
cycles? Like what have you been through in the past? Are there any particular triggers? Are there certain people, environments? Is a certain time of the year that makes you overeat or just turn to food in the first place? Like why exactly? Or it might be rooted somewhere in like a child, like something, a memory they haven't even really
you gotta
thought of,
dig deep. Yeah,
and it
yeah,
dictates everything that they do. Like they don't even realize that they make this decision because of something that happened years ago and they're
yeah,
subconsciously very scared of that.
yeah,
And everyone can diet for a certain amount of time. Like you said, you can give somebody that chicken and broccoli, here's a 6 days a week program. But
yeah,
if they just have zero awareness over the variables that got them fat in the first place, I think this cycle more than likely is going to repeat and it's going to reflect badly on you as a coach because you didn't really think of that. And they're also not going to get results, which also is going to be frustrating to them, which is going to reinforce the cycles even further.
yeah. Exactly. That's a good point.
What do you think the biggest lie that people tell themselves during a diet phase, specifically for these people who are fat now and want to get in shape?
Biggest lie that people tell themselves. I think the first one is like putting a cap on how much they think they can do, like putting a limit on how much they think they can like lose or whatever. Like I did that at the beginning. Like I was like, I only think I can lose this much weight, or I only need to do this much, and then it's like you can take your body to a lot deeper place at the beginning, or you what you think you can do at the beginning, you can do like 10 times more than that. And then like a second lie would be like how much you have to change to elicit a result. Yeah, like a lot of people are like, you have to do this much. Like, there's so much change you have to do where it's like for like an example, like one of my clients, like literally all we have done is just cut out soda and increased how much water we drink, and he's lost 20 pounds. It's like that's all it takes, and it's like so many people would be like, you have to do XYZ program, you have to do this diet, you have to fast for this long, and it's like maybe you just need to not drink this horrible coffee for you every day and just drink water, and then like exercise like I don't know 3 times a week, and then do that consistently for a month, and then see what happens, instead of doing this crazy diet or whatever. It's like it takes very little. I guess the lie would be like, I have to do all these things to lose weight or get in shape, and it's like you really don't. You really don't have to.
That's probably really good advice for the turn of the new year because people are already plotting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have this crazy morning routine. I'm going to go to the gym five
Hmm.
times a week. I'm going to meal. I just went and bought brand new meal prep containers. I went and stocked up my fridge with chicken and rice. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And then they do it for 7 days,
2 weeks.
but it's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, but it's a lot for them. It's an entire lifestyle overhaul. When it's
Yeah.
like, no, like you just need to, I don't know, maybe pull your drinking back to once a week, or maybe just cut out
Yeah.
alcohol
Right.
temporarily, or
Yeah.
maybe
Seriously.
just go for a 20-minute walk and see what happens. Like, yes, all these things are great, but you're gonna get overwhelmed. That's why people quit,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is they have this perfect streak. And I'm victim of this as well. I've done that before. Like I want to be perfect every single day. And as soon as they have that one day, which is inevitable, it's going to happen that they
Hmm.
don't prep their meals or they get busy and they can't do this or they can't work out, then the whole
Hmm.
thing just blows up in front of them in their face. And they're like, all right, fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
done. No more.
Yeah, yeah, I've fallen victim to that too. I mean, hell, even even leading into the holidays, like I've not been like the avid, disciplined, checking the boxes everyday bodybuilder that I like aspire to be. And I would do like one little snack off plan, and then it's like, fuck it, I'm going in. It's like some people that's just like a struggle a lot of people have that this is something you have to work on is like just because you deviate a little bit off plan like doesn't mean you have to like I saw someone made a post about this. It's like if you were to run your car into a wall and then you just like keep running into the wall, it's like you can just drive around the wall like quit self-sabotage. And that's just something I'm having to work on. It's like just because I go like a little bit off plan, like have a snack with my mom, doesn't mean I have to binge for the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I like the
So
there's a million analogies for it, but I like the analogy of if you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, you don't have to necessarily empty the clip. Like one bullet will
yeah.
do. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I like that. I
I
like
like
that.
the one that I see the most often, the biggest lie that people tell themselves is I'm starving. No, you're not.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
You're uncomfortable and
Yeah.
unfamiliar. The
Yeah.
difference in between is huge.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I think a bodybuilding prep will teach someone. That's why I think I've seen people like, suggest people do like a bodybuilding show. Don't even get on stage. Like just do the prep part of it one time. So you have like a baseline of like what is like suffering or whatever. Cause like my first prep, like not to like talk about like my journey or whatever, but like my first prep got down to like 950 calories and 2 hours of stairs. So like my baseline going forward is like everything is going to be easy after that, and you could use that for like if you just want to be a lifestyle client. This doesn't even apply to bodybuilding. Like do like a bodybuilding, like hire a coach and do like a prep. Like say you want to go to the beach, or say you have like a wedding, or you want to ask this girl out to prom or whatever. It's like do like a cut or whatever. Like you don't have to take it as far as a prep, like as far as like prep things go or whatever. But just having that like bodybuilding prep in your tool belt to know what is actual hunger and what is like suffering, if you want to call it that. I think that's stupid to call it suffering, but whatever. And it's like you'll have that baseline going forward into the future, and then like everything after that is like it's like cakewalk. It's easy. You know what I mean?
Be extreme in manner for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. Just like for like it could be for like 8-12 weeks, just like go into like absolute military boot camp mode with a diet. Then it's like everything after that is like this is just simple. It's easy.
Yeah, a large majority of dieting is honestly just a mental game. And
One
the
hundred
longer
percent.
you can play it and the more extreme you can play it for a certain amount of time, not saying that you should diet for like extremely for years, but if you could do, like you just said, the 12-week boot cut
Mm-hmm.
style stuff, you will earn a certain amount of sovereignty over your mind that really helps out with the rest of the dieting process, or just knowing how good food can be. And you can talk about your prep process. I mean, this is your episode. So light it up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I
But
mean, both of my preps have been pretty tough. That's why like my second like my prep this year was about the same, like not calorie wise, but like cardio wise. But like when you do that hard prep or that hard 12-week, 8-week cut or whatever you do, it's like I keep saying, like going forward, everything is easy after that. So I think everyone should go through a phase where they like build that like they earn, like you said, they earn that mental sovereignty, fortitude, that like going forward it's like you do a little cut, it's like that hunger noise like isn't even, it's not even there, or if it is there you're just like, it's kind of whatever, it's kind of part of it. You kind of build like that mental part of it.
yeah, and a huge majority of people in their lifetime will never experience that, and they'll have no idea. They just think
Hmm.
that their hunger, and also hunger is good. You should be, especially
Hmm.
in certain phases.
Yeah.
Hunger is it's a really good signal that things are going the right way. If you are never hungry, that is not good at all. If you're
Yeah.
not eating your meal and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
2 hours afterwards getting some type of hunger signal, that's not good
Hmm.
in certain
Right.
contexts. But
Right.
yeah,
Right. Correct.
what do you think matters more for people trying to lose a ton of weight? Food quality or calories?
Food quality. I think when it comes to losing weight specifically, I guess you could always say like, calories in, calories out is kind of like a concept or whatever. But I do think that food quality and the calorie amounts need to be, I guess, evenly thought on, because like there's always like the Sam Sulek approach where it's like you could eat whatever, but if you're in a deficit, you're gonna lose weight, which is like true to an extent. But then it's like you're taking such a hit on, like you mentioned earlier, like micronutrients and things like that, that other processes within the body are going to take a hit. And then it's like, well, maybe you're having the calories at the right point, but it's like your body is like a sludge factory of Quest bars and monsters. And it's like, yeah, but I'm in a calorie deficit. So it's like, yeah, but your body is like dying on the inside. So it's like having a good balance of the two, I think, is smart. Like you said earlier, people could probably lose weight eating at maintenance, but if they just improve the quality of what they're eating, that's going to improve other like metabolic functions, nutrient like partitioning, things like that, which makes their body like a furnace instead of like a sludge factory, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I think if I have to choose a side, I would go food quality. And I used to say I used to be on the side of calories, specifically because
Right.
I worked in a lab in grad school, and I
Mm-hmm.
worked underneath Dr. Bill Campbell, and he was all about. He had a couple studies where he actually did one himself, where essentially he ate bullshit, like he ate fried chicken sandwiches, like and Pepsi
Yeah.
daily, but he ate it in a calorie deficit, and it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but a lot
Right.
of what people don't even think that what people don't even know that they want out of the process of losing weight is they want to feel better as well. And they're probably
Mm-hmm.
going to, like you said, sludge factory. That's a great description of probably how they're going to feel inside of it. So I would argue food quality is more important.
Yeah, I'd say so too, because like there's so many things like within the body. If you're not getting the right like potassium, sodium, all these kinds of things, it's like there's going to be so many things that take a hit, and it's going to be like you may look at the scale and it makes you happy, but it's like if you were to look at your blood work, for example, or if you were to look at anything like that, it's like your body is like dying. So it's like it's not really worth the trade off.
Yeah, and it circles back to that maintenance point as well, where the goal is to lose weight, right? They're fat and they want to
Hmm.
lose weight. People get fat from surplus calories often because the calories from, if you don't focus on food quality, those low food quality sources are engineered to be hyper palatable and
Yeah,
they're easy to
yeah,
consume in bulk without filling you up at all. So you're eating in the
yeah.
surplus almost effortlessly. So whenever you switch to those whole food sources, there's so much more filling for one. Like
Hmm.
the amount of calories between them, the whole food sources are going to be way more filling. And often you
Hmm.
find that you just naturally eat less because
Hmm.
and that's going to get the body obviously closer to a deficit or put you in a deficit because you can't even the amount of calories that you were equating to, you cannot even eat that much at first because you're so full all the time from the whole food sources.
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge point that people miss.
Yeah, like you'll get in shape and you can, balance it out. I won't go into the rabbit hole of ratio and
Yeah,
work life balance, but in the form of food or what have you, whatnot.
yeah, yeah.
So someone's going through the process. Everybody's going to make their New Year's resolutions. Large majority of people are going to burn out by the 15th. How do you prevent burnout in those 6 to 12 weeks?
Preventing burnout. I guess this kind of loops back to the same thing, that I said earlier with I can't remember what question it was, but it's like what can we find that you look forward to doing every day? That you like wake up out of bed, it's like it could be hot yoga, it can be some kind of stretching, it could be cardio, it could be whatever, but like what can we find that you look forward to doing every day? And I think I got this from like Atomic Habits. It's like make whatever that habit is that you want to do and not burn out on, make it really easily accessible. So it's like if you want to get better at I don't know like ab work, put your ab wheel and put your ab stuff right by your bed. So when you wake up, it's right there and you can get to it. And like just little things like that. I do think that just finding like the things that you enjoy and like you could look up like what are the most optimal things for X, Y, and Z. Just because they're the most optimal does not or the most whatever does not mean that you need to do them if you don't enjoy them. Because if you don't, like I keep circling back to, if you don't enjoy it and you don't look forward to doing it every day, you're not going to do it for more than 12 weeks. Because then after that, you're like, I'm getting tired of this. I can't wake up and do this shit anymore. But it's like if you look forward to doing it, you could stay with it for the long haul. So it's like you kind of have to find what makes you tick, basically.
Yeah, that's a process that really gets helped by a coach. Not to advertise in the middle of a podcast, having
Yeah, yeah, I
somebody
agree.
having somebody identify those things for you, and
Uh-huh.
knowing that it doesn't have to be, like I said a minute ago, full new Tupperware sets, full this, like 6 days a week.
Hmm.
Like your coach can get to know you. And if you guys actually communicate efficiently, they should be able to build you a plan and pull out just a little like, okay, this is what you want to do. This is how we're going to do it. Let's build this minimum floor right here. Let's just go ahead and build your minimum. So whenever we get to week 6 to week 12, when the emotion side of it is faded, the motivation side is faded, the
Hmm.
minimum is built. Like you have your floor and you
Hmm.
know how to access that. Like you have high days, those are great, but building that floor off the rip, I think is extremely
Hmm.
important.
Yeah, for sure. Building like the foundation, whether it be like movement or like diet practices or whatever it may be. Once the motivation has slipped and you're back to like you're out of like the I guess you can kind of compare it to like the puppy love phase and like relationship, like all that's like subsided. It's like, well, what's going to carry you throughout? What's going to carry you to March? What's going to carry you to September? And it's like that foundation you built back in the very beginning of like the routine things that you do every morning. That's what is going to build consistency over the long term, which consistency over the long term is really all that matters in anything in life is this consistency over a long period of time.
Yeah, people really encapsulate that really important message, but it usually comes in the form of cheesier post.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a 75 hard, you need a 365 medium or whatever
Yeah,
it might be.
seriously. Yeah,
But the
literally.
message that even though it's cliche, it's true. Like it
Yeah,
works.
yeah, it is very true.
All right, we have one final group of people to tackle, and it is people who are skinny and just want to put on some damn size this year. They are tired of wearing shirts, not filling out the sleeves inside of them. They're ready to put on some
Mhm.
mass. How do you tell if someone is truly under eating or just making training mistakes in general?
So someone that's under eating, like I think the number one way to gauge that is basically just gym performance. Like, can you go in every week and progress your main meat and potato lifts, like the hack squat, the deadlift, the RDL variation, the main ones? Are you able to go in and progress that every single week? And if so, or if not, then you're either under recovered, which could lead to nutrition as well. You're not sleeping enough, or there's just a variety of things that could be, messed up at that point. But like if someone's coming to me and they like send me their like numbers for the week, and then like this next week they kind of drop a little bit, I'm gonna look at their calories and be like, well, you're probably just not eating enough. Like I think that's one of the most telltale signs or whatever how you say it is gym performance is just decreasing because like if it's decreasing, I think that's probably one of the main things for sure.
I didn't even think about it like that. Or
Hmm.
associate using gym performance as a metric of being able to tell probably where their calories at.
Yeah.
Honestly, a majority of the time, whenever they're super skinny, I'm going to say 99% of the time, I'm going to go ahead and assume, which I usually don't do, that they're under eating or they have no
Yeah.
idea how to eat proportionally for what they need. Because if they do have that higher rate of metabolism, you might be able to put away 3,000 calories and maintain weight. And 3,000
Seriously.
calories is kind of a lot. And I'm cool with not bringing that in with just chicken and rice. Like we got to throw in a bunch of filling stuff like honey,
Hmm.
or if I got to get you to eat Sour
Yeah.
Patch Kids in the middle of your workout, that works for me too. Like, but we got to get
Yeah.
your calories up
Yeah, for
one
real.
way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think more often than not, people eat a lot less than they think from a calorie standpoint. Like they'll eat maybe like the foods that are like really like snacks that are like really filling like once or twice a day. And then it's like I'll add that up and it's like, yeah, you're eating when you're hungry, but it's like you're also only eating like 1100 calories a day. And it's like, how are like, I don't under, like, it's like they'll stay full or they'll say they stay full, but it's also like they're just eating like nothing. And it's like crazy. Like I think people really on both sides of the spectrum can be overeating a crap ton more than they think they are, but there's also like that group of people that are like eating like 900 calories a day and maybe drinking like 15 energy drinks, which that could be like curbing how they feel, I guess. But like most people, a lot of people just are under eating way more than they expected. And it's like you'll add that up in like Chronometer or something. They'll like tell you like what like with some clients, I'll be like, give me like a basic rundown of like your eating for the day, whatever. I'll add it up and like Chronometer, like an estimation, it's like 800 calories. I'm like, how is this person like functioning? Like, and then you can compare that to like their training in the gym, and it's like, okay, let's make some correlations here. Are your numbers progressing, or have you been stalled out in the gym for 6 months while you've been doing this cut? Oh, it's like, well, I was squatting 225 back in October, and it's like now it's December, and I'm still squatting 225. It's like, well, you are probably not eating enough. Kind of make that little correlation right there.
Yeah, being able to draw that game of correlations is it's such a niche coaching skill. I love that you. I
Yeah,
like how you think in the patterns of that. That's cool.
yeah.
What do you think the biggest training mistake that kills growth for naturals is? That's a huge debate right now.
Kill the biggest thing that kills progress for naturals. I would say I think you made a point about this with a whole nother like subject, but I think it's like the especially nowadays, like over trying to over optimize every single movement or every single thing they do within the gym and not having like some like grip and rip kind of sets or grip and rip days. I think being very trying to over optimize everything, and this could you can apply this principle to every aspect of life, but especially the gym in 2025 and in 2026 is like you want like the perfect movement. You want this. You want to get in this single arm movement and not have any body torque or any body movement. You want to be exactly on the lat, and it's like there are just some things, especially like, a lot of guys that are getting into the gym now are young and natural. It's like you need to have a good. I made a there's gonna be a clip during my YouTube video I'm gonna put out tomorrow of like it's like the yin and yang symbol. You have to have a little bit of black, and I say the black is like meathead bro science or meathead culture, old school, whatever, within the white. And it's the same thing like the white and the black. You need to have a little bit of like the science based. Oh, I want to execute this correctly. I want to work in like a 6 to 20 rep range and all the science based things, but you need to have a good balance of the two. And I think too many people get very dogmatic in their approach and like black and white. It's like I only can train like science based, very strict, very this, and they don't ever build like the meathead mentality of like just being able to take it there. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I see nowadays is they can't have a balance of the two.
Yeah, I think that is a phenomenal approach. I want to shout out Tom Schuster for this reference, but I think the biggest mistake that kills growth for naturals, he quoted it once that made me laugh. Don't get bit by the fatigue fairy is how he said it. And I was like, that
Yeah,
is a
seriously.
great way to say it. Like I love the knowledge of understanding fatigue mechanisms and giving it the
Yeah, for
respect
sure.
that it deserves. But the natural community specifically took it way too far. Like way too far.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's like
the
there's very few like natural young guys that are taking it to a point where they can't recover. It's like if you were young and you're eating well, you don't have to be eating perfect, but if you're young, sleeping well, and you're training, you're getting your micros, macros, whatever, you're gonna recover. Like fatigue is like I think fatigue should only be I think I said something like this earlier. You should earn the right to worry about fatigue. So people like Nick Walker, people like John Jewett, the guys that are huge, they're the ones that need to worry about that because they have all this like accumulated, like they're able to target muscle correctly. They're able to take it there. Like the guys that are young and natural are probably me too. It's like miles away from accumulating and getting to that point of fatigue. Like obviously there's a point where you don't need to go in and deadlift every single day, kill yourself. Like you have to not be an idiot and use some common sense, obviously. But you also don't want to be like, I'm only going to do 4 sets per week because I may get too much fatigue. And it's like, maybe a little bit of fatigue is good. Like maybe that's just a sign that you're working your ass off. You know what I mean? Like maybe like have you ever gotten like out of like a baseball workout like you did like a football workout and you just like completely were wrecked for like days? Like that's kind of a good feeling. It's not like a bad thing. It's like obviously you don't want to build that up for years and years and years, but it's like at some point it's kind of like a pride thing. It's like shit, I'm fatigued. Yeah, I'm working my ass off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that one set arm flap stuff is wild.
Dude, yeah, I don't. I get on TikTok like every once in a while to like scroll. Like I don't. I try my best to not do that kind of shit because like I'll see one video and I'm like, dude, I'm getting pissed, and I'll just swipe up. I can't. This is bad, 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 bad.
But speaking of recovery and giving it the respect that it deserves, do you have a rule for adding volume without wrecking recovery?
I wouldn't say like a like a key thing I go to, but it's just like if you're gonna add volume, don't if you're doing for example, like 12 sets per week or whatever for body part or however many sets, like don't add in 10 more sets. Like add as much as like add like 1 set to a main compound or like I think adding sets to like more accessory work first. I learned this recently actually in like J3 or whatever. It's like add sets to your accessory work first because those will be like a little less taxing. You can kind of gauge it a little bit better and just add like 1 or 2 sets per week and then add until you cannot recover for that next session and then pull a little bit back, and that's kind of where you found your happy medium because like you don't want so much soreness, like you don't want to hit chest today and then be sore the next time you hit it. So if you are still sore, maybe pull back a little bit of volume, a set or two there. And then once you find the volume to where you're like sore, like I'd say like a good 24, 48 hours afterwards, and then it kind of subsides as you go into that next chest day, then you have found like your good volume, I guess, ratio essentially.
I think a good caveat for that rule as well is to give it multiple weeks before you make any adjustments, because
Yeah,
if you
smart.
throw in a new movement, any type of novelty, of course you're going to be sore.
Yeah.
So don't think just because you added a new movement and this new movement brought more volume and you're excessively sore or more than you usually are, don't immediately
Mhm.
pull volume or make any changes. Like give your
That's a
body,
that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah, give it like 3, 4 weeks maybe to adjust. If on that fourth week you're still going in there and you are sore as hell afterwards, like excessively, like too
Yeah.
much, where it's lagging into your next chest day or whatever it might be, then okay, then yeah,
Mhm.
then make some volume adjustments after that.
That's a great point. Yeah, I like that.
What are some non-negotiable nutrition habits or habit main one for gaining lean size?
Non-negotiable. Like for me personally, I wouldn't put this on like a client that isn't like an avid bodybuilder or like a whatever, but it's like I think the leaner that you can keep a diet, the better. I think that just staying more lean and not doing like, I guess we could put this in like a muscle building or like bulking context. I do think that the more lean you can keep and the more like strict essentially you can keep it, the better, because just because you have so many more variables that you have control of and you're not having so many other things you're having to take in consideration. Like, well, I had this big of a cheat meal this day, and this much on this day, and then you kind of start to accrue like body fat that really is unproductive. I mean, there's not really any. I mean, there are a couple instances where having like adding body fat is good, but like adding excess body fat is not good in like a lot of stances or whatever. So I think that the leaner, even though it may be a little bit boring, I think the leaner and the more simple that you can keep a diet, the better. And also, like for me, it's like the simpler a diet is, there's just less variables that you have to think about. You know what I mean? It's like there's less things that you have to worry about. Like I'm doing this, like I just like this big of a cheat meal this day and doing this much this day. It's like when you have like a set meal plan that you can just wait. Like I tell my clients this, like whenever I suggest to them like what kind of diet that we should do going forward, it's like a set structured meal plan. Like you can just wake up, you have your meals set out, you know exactly what you're eating, and then you don't have to think about it the rest of the day. Where it's like if you're doing any other kind of approach, like maybe like a macro approach or like whatever, it's like you have to like calculate and formulate in your head what your meals are going to be for the day. And so that's just like mental space that it's like you could be pouring into other things in your life that you don't have to worry about because your meals are set in place. You don't got to think about it. It's just like you wake up, you eat the food, you go to bed. It's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah, from that decision fatigue. Do you ever get the question of whenever you bring your meal prep containers around, do you get tired of eating the same thing?
Yeah, I work at Walmart and I eat like half my meals in the break room, and they'll be like, "What you eating today?" I'm like, "Probably the same thing I ate the same time last year. I was sitting here at the same spot. It's the same shit." It's just like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it does get kind of annoying. I also got that in high school a lot because like at the end of my senior year was when I was in my prep, and I would just bust open my food in class and I'd whatever, and they'd be like, "Don't you get tired of eating the same thing?" It's like, not really. I mean, it's just kind of, it's kind of part of it. It makes it a lot easier for me.
What do you think separates a person from the people who can do that? People such as you or even such as I who can eat the same foods over and over again and not only not get tired of it, almost kind of look forward to it in a sense versus the people who
Yeah.
even the idea of a meal plan is just out of this world. 3 days of the same food is outrageous. They will not do it.
I think that you have to have like, for me, like it's like you have to have like a deeper, I guess it could be something that helps and doesn't have to be like the main reason why someone like me or you could do this versus someone else. But like having a deeper reason on why you're doing like the bodybuilding thing. Like, I don't know like your personal backstory on why you bodybuild, but like for me, it was like, no, I mean I'm not saying I don't now, but like I used to fucking hate myself. I kind of still do. So it's like, you have to have like some kind of deeper, like kind of like what you hit on with like the client psychology. You have to have some kind of deeper thing that like disconnects you from like your relationship with food. It's like I have this goal I'm looking at, this food is going to fuel that goal, and it's like if it has to be this repeated process of the same thing, it's like I'm okay with that because I know that there's like greater purpose or the greater goal that I'm going towards, instead of, and reaching that will be a lot more happy and great than like the little bit of like enjoyment I'll get out of some like yummy food. You know what I mean? It's like I have like you have like a bigger thing that's driving that. And so it's like well, I'm checking these boxes with my meals, which is leading to this big goal of mine, which means a lot more to me than having some variety in my food or eating this little bit of McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah. Tom talked about it one time, and I really like the way he phrased it, where he believes that everybody should eat like a bodybuilder, even if it's only for a small amount of time. Because,
Mm-hmm.
for one, it reveals just how good food can be whenever it's not given to you in abundance. Like, if you can eat
Yeah.
really structured meals, the same meals over, and then once a week or twice a week, you do get that free meal fucking rocks every time. And it
Yeah.
makes it so
It's
much
like,
better
yeah.
when it's
Yeah,
not
it's
just
like
part of
you
your
it's
macro
like
fitting.
yeah, it's like you reset your baseline of like food, like enjoyment or whatever, like how like if you're just eating fucking Oreos every day, it's like it's kind of like I'm sure you've seen like the more like screen time you have and the more dopamine hits you get, the more dopamine things you have to do to like keep getting that same hit. And it's the same thing with the diet. It's like if you are eating these meals every day, it's kind of like where your baseline is. And then when you have that free meal with your girlfriend, you're like, dude, this is crazy. This is so good. And then like the caveat with that is like with someone like me, it's like and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. It's like sometimes that free meal may be really good, but that could lead to like really shitty things on the back end of that, of like maybe going into like binging afterwards because you're like, oh my god, food is so good, and it's like you get into this thing with like food, and that's just like bad. Like people have like shitty relationships with food, and I fall victim to that. It's like sometimes that free meal may be really good, but it could lead to like really shitty binging habits off of that. And that's just something that people have to be aware of like, is that are you at high risk of that kind of thing, I guess, and just how you can like control yourself and like being able to control that thing's like a skill in and of itself is being able to like have that free meal and then just wake up the next day and get back to it and not being able to like and not having that free meal and then waking up being like I'm gonna have a little bit of this because like it's just a little bit off plan and then that little bit off plan kind of like I'm sure you've heard this like how you do anything is how you do everything, so if you eat a little bit off plan that shit's going off the rails.
Yeah. I think it's really environment helps with that factor a lot, of being able to cut
Hmm.
it like after you have it. At least I know this is more difficult for people who have families and have like kids and everything, and their
Hmm.
pantries have to be stocked for everybody. But I know
Hmm.
my cabinet and what I have, it is the bare bone essentials of what I need for my meal plan. If I'm eating anything off plan, I went out and I resourced it. So if I come back with a pint of ice cream and
Yeah,
I have that pint of ice cream, and
you
then
had to go
afterwards I'm like,
get it.
damn, yeah, I'm like, damn, I want more
Yeah.
ice cream. It's like, well, I don't have it here.
Yeah.
Like it's not my pantry, it's
Yeah.
not my environment or very
Yeah,
close to
that's
me.
that's a great point. If it's not in your pantry, if it's not around you, you can't have it. Just don't bring it in your house. It's that simple. It's like if you're so gung ho committed on going for your meal plan that you're gonna go to town and get it, it's like fuck, you may just go
It's
for
worth
it.
it.
Like just screw it,
Yeah.
go for it. But it's not in your house. It's like you can't have it.
Yeah, I think people should do a pantry clear. If they have some serious goals for the new year and they want to learn something about themselves, clear out your entire pantry, only get exactly what you
Pantry
need. Delete,
cleanse.
yeah,
Yeah.
delete Uber Eats, DoorDash, delete all the apps off your phone that brings the food to you now. And if you
Yeah.
want it, you got to get in your car and go freaking get
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
usually that barrier right
Yeah.
there will stop you. Because
Yeah.
in the
That's a good
even if
point.
you do it, you're like going out, you're getting your keys, you're locking your door, you're getting in the car, and you're like, damn, I'm a fat ass. Like I'm actually getting,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going out of my way to do this. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and
And
like I said,
people,
if you're so gung ho that you go through the process of getting ready, getting to your car, driving there, again, it's like I don't even care. Like if I'm your coach, I don't even care at that point. You went through so much shit, like just fucking go for it. Like
yeah, I works
shit.
on the opposite side as well, like minor things. Like I have a guy who is brand new to the whole process and he wants to put on some size but he has a hard time just going to the gym and making it a habit. I'm like, okay, you know what? This week, this is our goals. This is what we're going to do to kind of contrast what we were just talking about. I want you to just drive to the gym parking lot. You don't even have to work out, dude. I want 2 times this week. You're going to drive to the gym parking lot. And if you don't want to, if you get there and you're like, I don't want to work out, then you can come right back home and I'm still going to count that as a successful check-in. As long as you do that, I'm cool. And what do you know? His past
I've seen
check-in,
that somewhere. I can't remember what like, book I read that from, but it's like if you could just do like that's like the littlest thing to move toward that, like the littlest step. And I think people, that's something I can go on like a tangent on, is like people overestimate or underestimate like how big steps can be, like just buying a water jug or just like little things that can just drive such great progress to like you said, like you tell that guy, just drive to the gym. If you don't feel like working out, that's fine. But you're doing like the little thing that will driving to the gym will probably eventually lead to walking in the gym. And if you walk in the gym, you're like, fucking, I'm going home. Walking into the gym will probably lead to like, oh, that kind of looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna go try that. And then that leads to ultimately finding what you like to do, and then that leads to progress down the road.
Yeah. Is it the most optimal thing to do to just drive to the gym and go home? Fuck no, it's not. But he submitted his check-in and he had his first like perfect week of going to the gym
Sweet.
3 different times and then eating 3 meals on those gym days, which is night and day difference from where he just was, which was no workouts at all, one meal a day, if that. So just building up your environment and doing whatever, even if it's the most tiny thing, like you said,
it's
putting
building up momentum so big with things like that. It's just like momentum will just build and build. It's like a raw fire rate. It's like this time and consistency, and that momentum will just build and build and build. And that's such a huge thing with losing weight and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love telling people we want to get to a point to where it's part of your identity. Like it's part of like who you are. It's not really something that you have to go do. Like you don't just go, like you don't have to go to the gym. Like it's not something you have to do. It's just part of who Maddox is. Like you just go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of your you wake up, you do your cardio, you do these things, not because you have to or what have you, or it's like out of your way. It's just part of like what you do as a person. And if you can sit there, the road to getting into that phase, like getting into that part of your identity is doing those little things, is just driving to the gym and going home if you need to. But it's just wherever you are, just little tiny wins, and then just stack them. And on top of that, get someone to hold you to them. So when the day comes where you inevitably miss it and you do not hit the mark and you fall off target, you have somebody to say, shit happens. Let's get at it tomorrow.
Having someone there is so important too, because like when you have someone that's looking from like a third eye or like a bird's eye view of like your situation, they're gonna like not have any bias. Or you can, I made a video about this a few days ago. Like you can convince yourself that anything, like if you cheat on your diet, if you don't go to the gym, you will. The human brain can convince themselves, I think, of like literally anything. Like if you want to achieve something, you can convince yourself you can do it. But if like you go off your plan or you do whatever, you will convince yourself and begin to reason with yourself why that is okay. Or like, oh, it's fine. I missed this. X, Y, and Z happened. That's why that makes sense. Yeah. Like I do that. I do that a lot. Like sometimes, like when I go off, like if I do a little bit off plan, it's like rationalize. I'll start to try and rationalize. And like at the end of the day, you can rationalize anything with yourself. But if you have like a coach there to be like, listen, dickhead, you went off plan. This is why we need you to get back on plan. And it's like, okay. And it kind of brings you back to the light, because that's an issue I think a lot of people have, is like they will cheat on their diet, or they will drink again, or they'll go back to their ex or whatever it may be. And then they can think of something on why that is okay. And then they will convince themselves on why that is okay. I mean, I could go on a fucking whole tangent on like convince myself something's okay just to make yourself feel good on why you went off plan or why you deviated from whatever.
Yeah, there's a Jocko clip out there, and he talks about how your brain and like that emotional center inside of it, he's like, you're like a cheap defense attorney. Like how good your brain is at emotionally negotiating with yourself. Like as soon as you start having like if you don't, and this could be applied to anything. I think the most applicable thing would be like hitting the snooze button. Like you could sit there and you can hit the snooze button, and then you have a whole conversation with yourself. You don't even realize it. Like all this, like it's like, like I didn't sleep very well last night, or I didn't do this, and then your brain just starts feeding you like a loop of keeping you right where you are, your comfort, and it just gives it to you. And it's a really good attorney because it knows exactly what you want and knows exactly what you want emotionally, what you need in this very moment. And then you just have to have that outside, that perceiver, like you're like the thinker, and then the person who can actually see it. Put them back in charge. But no, this is we don't do this. Like we're negotiating with ourselves right now.
Because that will lead to like so many other things in your day. It's like if you hit the snooze button, that's going to lead to you being, I don't know, like a dickhead at work or something like that. And then that's going to lead to you being like, well, that person was mean to me, so it's like they kind of deserve that. Then it's like you're going to be able to rationalize with yourself why it's okay that you're a dickhead. And then all that happened because you hit the snooze button because your brain was like, convincing yourself that you needed that little bit of extra sleep or whatever it may be.
Yeah. I'll get into a whole tangent. I'll sit there and I'll hold you here forever. We've solved the hopefully we've
Seriously.
solved the crisis of value for people who are skinny fat, people who are skitty, and people who are fat looking to get in shape.
Hmm.
So let's wrap it up a little bit. I just want to hear about what exactly you want to, what kind of coach do you want to be known for in the next 5 years? Because you were starting extremely early, you're extremely hungry. I'm really excited to see where that ends up. What exactly do you want to make happen in the next 5 years?
That's a really good question. Someone that is not so fake and like just really like a really real coach. You know what I mean? Like I think there are so many coaches out there that like will do certain things for whether it be followers or respect or whatever it may be, and just someone that will like shoot you straight and get you results or whatever it may be, and just being a really real coach, like a real person. I think in 2026 and like going forward, it's like there's so much stuff that's like automated and AI and things like that. I will never like I'm never gonna have a client where I just like fucking chat GPT them a plan and then send it to them. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of that going on. I think that's just like I think we can all resonate with that, and like that we want to be that coach too. Is just like that really authentic, like everything is going to be like personalized to you. Like I want there to be a good human to human connection there, and like I genuinely want the best for my people. Like that's all I give a like that's all I care about. And I think that that's what separates coaches that last, or at least this is what I've heard, and I think this makes sense. Like the ones that last and the ones that will fall off and then become like an online trader a year later, and then like this other avenue and this other avenue a year later, is they don't they didn't give a fuck from the beginning. They just wanted your money. And it's like I obviously you have to have some aspect of you that wants the money, because like when you're like you're a business owner, you're a brand, you kind of have to, like you are your money, like you have to be that, like you have to care to some extent. But too many people that I've seen go in and out, it's like that's all they cared about from the get-go. And it's like I just want to be the person, like I care about you as a human. From I can get on even like a religious standpoint. It's like my brother in Christ. Like I just want you to get in shape. Like I just want you to be healthy and happy, and that's what I want my message to be. Is like I don't care. Pay me $5. I don't care. I just want you to be healthy. Like I just want the best for you, and that's the kind of coach I want to be. Is like I just want you to get results. If that means whatever, like just being like genuinely wanting results for people, and not just like wanting their follow or wanting their comment or wanting their money or whatever, which I think is like unfortunately a vast majority of people in general and coaches in general, that they just want like a referral or a follow or a money. It's like, do you even want the result for the person? Like, do you even give a fuck? Like, do you really?
Yeah. Like I said, man, you're a rarity. Not a whole lot of coaches like you out there.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
And because of that, you will write like Taylor Moore says the cream always rises to the crop.
Yeah,
He
I
put
like
out
him. I like him.
a bit from that. And he's like, if you just keep honing in and just like you said, you gave a fuck from the get go. All the
Yeah, like
all the extra
yeah,
stuff that comes with money, or that comes with coaching, like money and all the extra stuff, that's going to come just because
exactly.
why you want to do it's in the right place
Yeah,
from the
if you're
start.
like if you're passionate, like you could even apply this to bodybuilding and fitness. Like if you just love the gym and you just go to the fucking gym and just do the things that relate to bodybuilding, you will make progress. If you just genuinely care about people making results, the clients, because like I'm sure you've heard this and seen this. It's like your greatest asset to getting more clients and generating more revenue and money and whatever is going to be the results you get. And if you genuinely give a shit about people's results, you will that is what your main production will be, is results. And the more results you get, the more testimonials you'll get, referrals you'll get, and then it's just like what it seems like a domino effect. And it's like but it's all built off this foundation of like giving a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't care about the results, you're never going to get the results. If you never get the results for people, you're never get the clients, and then you're going to be a broke coach forever, and then you're going to be a, a social media coach in 12 months. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. You got to care.
Yeah, I agree. Before we get you out of here, do you have any upcoming projects you want to shout out? Do you have anything big you got a whole new year ahead of you? There's the platform to do it. I'd love to tell people where they can find you, everything in between.
Anything big projects wise? No, I know I'll probably compete at some point in 2026. I don't really know what that looks like from a time frame standpoint. You can find me on Instagram My Instagram is Maddox Medlin, or Madx Medlin, and then on YouTube, this is my name, Maddox Medlin. Besides that, big projects. No, I do have I'm going to start trying to do a podcast kind of like this, and I'd love to have you on. It's going to be more based about like young bodybuilders that are like 18 to like 23, like in that beginning phase, that just love bodybuilding. Like they love the process of it. I think that's a very like a lost art in like our age group. It's like a lot of guys are doing it for the social media, the likes, the partying, the all that. And it's like I want to find the guys that are like not like hermit crabs, but like kind of like hermit crabs, like old Jay Cutler type shit. So like I'm gonna try and make a podcast where it's kind of highlighting like that demographic of people to where people can see like there's not people that are younger getting into fitness or whatever aren't just the the goofballs on what you mainly see on social media. It's like there are people out there that just like love to bodybuild and they just love like waking up, doing their cardio, eating their meals, checking their boxes, and going to bed. You know, like there are still people in our age group that are like that. So that is one thing I don't really know. I guess after this, I could just even hit you up and kind of get your insight on how to like to run a podcast. But that's going to be something I'm trying to implement going into 2026, just within my social media avenues, is a podcast kind of highlighting like younger bodybuilders that just love this shit, you know?
Yeah, I love the vision.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
do.
For sure.
And I've been hammering you with questions. Do you have any questions for me about anything? You don't you don't have to. You don't have to come up with any questions, but I usually yap. So I just want to make sure I gave you the floor for anything.
Yeah, for sure. I guess not really. I mean, what kind of got you into bodybuilding? I didn't really ever get that about you. I mean, I know you said you like played baseball and stuff.
Yeah,
What got
so
you in the whole process?
I think there's always it's a commonality, just a sense of self-hatred from the get-go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was the shortest
Quite
and
frankly,
fattest out of my friend group, and I wasn't very good at sports. And I found out exactly what you found out, that this weight room thing is it's one of the few domains where not only in general, but like in life, you get out exactly what you put in. And it
hmm
was my time of control. Like it was my time where I was behind the wheel and I could dictate exactly what would happen within that hour or 2 hours, or even at the beginning of my training career, 3, 4 hours. I don't know, just
yeah.
messing around in the gym, having fun.
Seriously,
Just really enjoyed it. And I think the bodybuilding side has come more so later in my career. I really just enjoyed knowing as much as I can early on. But as of recently, the past 2 years, bodybuilding and looking sick is awesome, but I really think there is a special thing about the bodybuilder mindset. Like the people who can do this at a very extreme degree thrive. Often you see not in just in the gym, and then not only do they look sick, but they have
yeah.
very strong relationships, they have strong businesses, they have
hmm
strong morals, they know what they stand for, they know what they stand against. And a lot of them will describe the bodybuilding prep process, especially the beginning ones, as very spiritual for them and figuring
Yeah.
out certain things.
It changed my
And
life. Yeah, seriously. It changed my life.
it's all that realm of it much more attractive. I do want to win my show. I do want to go in and I want to smoke whoever the fuck is
Hell yeah.
up next to me
Hell
on
yeah.
stage.
Hell
But
yeah.
it really isn't about that for me.
Yeah.
I want to bring as best as I possibly can to it. If
Yeah.
I place good, then hell yeah. But I know along the way, and I already have, that it's bled into other areas of my life as well. And I want to just kind
That's
of keep repeating and
such a good
rinsing.
mindset. Yeah, that's such a good mindset. I could go on a probably like a 5 hour long tangent of how like principles of bodybuilding will be shown in everything that you do in life. Like it could be like I don't remember who said this, but like if you can be a good bodybuilder, you can be a good business owner. It's like almost the exact same thing. Just different things you're doing. It's like if you can have that consistency and that vision of whether it be like you said, you want to win your show. Like you can want to have a very good successful business and make all these numbers, but it's like you can rationalize in your head and understand like you can have little goals within your business. Like I want to just have a good business. Like I don't have to be the greatest biggest business right now, or like just the consistency thing, like being disciplined on like what you do every day with your bodybuilding, and you just apply that to your business. And it's like it's all such a cool thing seeing it all kind of like intertwine.
Yeah. I agree. And I'm hoping that this is my first show. So
Hmm.
my stance on this and why exactly I do it and my love for it could drastically change come show time. Like afterwards, I might have a whole
You're
next
gonna
revelation.
you're gonna love the peak week process is like the most fun shit. Like my last my last show was my second show ever, and I have a video on my phone of me just laying in bed, like carbon up or whatever. It's like you love this shit, and I bet you'll probably feel the same way. It's like you love this shit, and this process is so fun. So like, please just keep pursuing this because that whole if you've done the work, which I'm sure you're the kind of person I know you have. It's like if you've done the work during the prep, it's like that last week is just like holy shit, I've done this. I can like kind of relax and like this is my time, and it's like you get to look back and reflect, and then on like the show day, it's like so fucking cool. Like, even if you don't win, it's like that's one of my favorite parts about bodybuilding is like there are so many little goals like at a show there are so many little goals people are shooting for. Like obviously we all want to win, like you have to have that mindset of like fuck, I want to win, I don't care who is there, I want to win. But it's like you can all have little goals, like this person over here is wanting to win their class, this person over here is just wanting to go home and get off state, like they just want to compete, or this person's trying to go for a pro card, whatever. So it's like there's so many little goals that you can have at like one show, and it's so cool. It's like you can even apply that to like a business. It's like, or people trying to open a business or start a business. It's like this person's trying to get their first client, and then this person's trying to make their first 10K month. But it's all like these big, like these little goals, all within like the big picture of whatever. So it's really cool. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Especially your coach is Tom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's very smart. So I bet you're peaking and all that. That's like the coolest part of it is like seeing all of it like take place and like seeing a peak work. And like one thing I'll recommend to you that I'm sure you're probably already planning on doing this, but like open like a Google Doc or a note, in any change that he makes to your diet or like any implementation he does for you, write it down so you have like for future reference. That's what I did. Like I have a Google Doc of like my every single change my coach made to my meal plan and my water and whatever for the last like 3 days. So like you can look back, even though Tom will have this on deck for him, just to look back in the future and be like, okay, we did this on this day at this time and it elicited this look. Okay, that makes sense. And then like just being able to look back is just kind of cool just to have note of it. Like that's what I would that's something I'd recommend for your show day. Like have like a Google Doc or like a note just opened up. He'll send you like your diet plan. You just copy and paste it into that note, and then you just kind of have it there.
I thought about doing that too. It's funny that you said that. I think
Yeah,
I'm going to do it now.
yeah,
That was like the second
yeah,
voice I needed. I'm going to do it.
yeah. Smart.
All right, brother. Well, I won't hold you for any longer. I really appreciate your time hopping on, answering all the questions. I want to link all
For
your
sure,
socials and where all the people can find you down below, and so they can watch
for
your
sure.
journey unfold in front of
Thank
them
you.
or your coaching resources. But this has been the Fireside Physique Podcast. Till next time, guys.
See you.